Today we are going to look at Bangladesh for population and how they're going to do in the future. If you didn't know, Bangladesh is one of those most populated country in the world, currently around 8 places on a world rank. Now, Bangladesh has around 175 million people, and you can see here for now it's on the up trajectory, but you can see in a growing rate it go up and down. So you can see a very distinctive curve. They started in 1950 from 1.9 to from almost 2% growth rate, and now they have, especially in the before the pandemic, they were much lower, and now they cut a bit, but again they're gonna go down very soon. Now let's go back in the past. In 1955, Bangladesh has a population around 45 million people, so much less they're gonna see today, with a annually change rate growing at 2.2%, and they add around, let's say, 1 million people, new million people every single year. And now we're gonna have migrants on minus 30,000, and the median age is 18 years old, so very young country. Fertility rate 6.5. The same, I think, was around like Brazil, if I'm not mistaken exactly, but anyway, over 6%, over 6 children per woman, which is a huge number. Now, back in 1955, only 4.3% of the people actually live in an urban area, so pretty much no one. All of the people pretty much live in a countryside. Now, fast forward to 2025, year that we are right now. Now the Bangladesh has 175 million people, so huge increase. Now the yearly increase is 1.2%, and they add 2.1 million new people in the world. Migration still on the minus, with almost 500,000 people leaving the country. And if you're asking where those people go, I can say they go in Europe. You're gonna see them everywhere. Bangladesh and Pakistan and Sri Lanka, all the way in Europe. I can see it even here in my country, see it all the way, delivering food pretty much. That's the main job they do. Median age, they increase at 26 years old, and fertility rate dropped at 2.1. Still sustainable, but you're gonna see in the future how they're gonna end up. Now, 42% of the population, so 10 times more, I would say, than used to be in 1955. So they start, let's say, industrialize it in the present, and now they occupied 8th place in the world global ranking. They used to be on 11. Now let's see a bit in the future how they're gonna look. In 2050, there's gonna be 214 million people, so still on the up trajectory, but you can see now, let's say in 2025 they have 2.1 new million people. In 2050 it's going to be 1.2, so already in half in the next 25 years. So it's going to be a big change. Migration is still going to be on minus. That's going to show that the current life in the Bangladesh is not that well right now, and it's not going to be well not even in the future, because you can see some statistic here, like it's going to say people are still leaving the country. So I don't think, even I don't think they're going to improve that much the condition in their country, so they can actually convince people to not leave, looking for others opportunity in other countries. And with all that, we're still gonna lose population extremely quickly in the future, especially by the end of the century. It's gonna be pretty much on minus 100%, if not from 2050, because like I said, those data it might be just a bit incorrect, let's say. Now the urban population in 2050 is going to be 54%, so not that much increase in my opinion. You still have almost half of the country living in the countryside and not in the urban country, an urban area. Now the median age in 2050 is going to be 35 years old, so you can see after 100 years from 1955 to 2050, they double the median age, but also the population. So they are much more and much older, and the fertility rate is going to drop from 2.1, which is very sustainable. I would say that 2.1, 2.2, it's very well. They're gonna go in 2050 beyond sustainable, so it's gonna be 1.8. That's why I'm gonna think they're gonna drop the population very fast, especially like I say by the end of the century. If China is projected to lose half of population by the end of the century, I would say expect the same thing from the Bangladesh, if not even worse, if they don't improve those actually condition in the country. They're gonna go down on global rank from 8 to 10. That's not much a big deal for them, but it's one thing that we keep in mind. Now, life expectancy, let's look very quick at that. The Bangladesh is still on the up trajectory, and they kind of steep one. The both sexes have almost 75 years old, female 76 and male 73, so pretty close female to male in this relationship. And the biggest issue that they have, then this is how you're gonna see that condition in the country are not well at all. Infant mortality is 16.9, which is huge, and death under age of 5, 21. So I think from those two numbers you can see exactly why those migration are still on the minus, almost at I would say at 500,000. That's a little bit more, let's say, than a quarter of the million, pretty much from the entire history of the country, especially from 1970 upwards. What you can have here in 1955 still have a minus. So they pretty much have a migration on minus from the recent history, and it's going to continue again in the future 100%. Now the population in the cities, Dhaka, I hope I could pronounce it right, 10 million people. So I don't know the city, I never look into it, but I think if you with those numbers, with migration on minus, and we have 10 million people living in one area, in one city, I bet the condition is not well at all here. They have 5 cities with population over 1 million. The rest of them are still under, but again, they have 42% right now population in the urban area. So most of them, they are still living in the countryside. It's pretty much what I see here, a flat country with a lot of rivers, so they have at least access to the water. It's not one of those African countries and when they struggle for them. But still, I bet this is the city most likely. You can see from the satellite. Look how big it is. But yeah, this is the city right here. They have a lot of water from what I see here, so I don't think that, which is a huge issue you don't have. And they have that, so probably it's gonna be like how clean that water is, how well they can feed themselves, and obviously the healthcare is not in a good position. So for the future of Bangladesh, I do not think they're gonna continue on this trajectory. They're gonna soon, I think, but like I said, 2030, 2035, this line here is gonna go down where you used to be before the pandemic, if not even lower. So it's gonna be less than 1%. They say by 2035 it's gonna be less than 1%. I think it's gonna be by 2030, if not quicker than that. I can't see how they can sustain that much of the growth population. Look at this, from 1955, from 45 million to 175 million, and still everyone in the country doing well, especially, like I said, no healthcare system and huge populated cities. 10 million people in one city in Bangladesh, it cannot be good. If you are from there and you have something to add, leave it in the comment section and we're going to discuss it. But for the Bangladesh, it is one of those countries that pretty much export their people outside, especially, like I say, in Europe. I don't know how they export it in India or country around them, but here in Europe, you can see those, like I say, Bangladesh, India also, but Sri Lanka the most. They pretty much do food delivery for the Europeans. That's at least what I see. If they work in some factories, I don't see it, but on the street, 100% you're gonna see those type of people here in Europe. So they take those low income jobs, but I guess for them it's a much better wage than they can get in their countries. So yeah, for the future, Bangladesh, I project they're gonna lose, especially by the end of the century, half of the population. I mean, it's gonna end up from 215 probably at around 100, let's say 10, 20, around that, and with a much older population. And probably the fertility rate is going to be, like we see in other countries, less than 1.5, if not 1.2, 1.1, something much lower. And in the urban area, most likely going to see at least 75% of them moving to the cities, which is going to make life even harder for pretty much everyone. It's not like the countryside when you can have clear space and like I say, I don't know how clean the water is, but if you move that many people in one city, you're gonna have some trouble. So yeah, that was the video about the Bangladesh. Like I say, if you live there and you have something to add, leave it in the comment section and I'm gonna respond in there. And check my other videos, especially about India, because it's one of our neighbor, and you can see how India is doing pretty much, like I say, the same as everybody else with the population. They are going down, especially in the next few years.